I'm going to show you how to alter the basic skirt block into 3 different types of skirt. The first one is going to be changing it into an A-line skirt. To do that, you draw a line from the point of the dart down to the bottom of the skirt, then cut up that line and down one side of the dart, then stick those 2 pieces together. So that's taken out any fold or stitching line that you might have on the front of the skirt, and then do exactly the same for the back. So once you have that, you can stick that down to another piece of paper and close the new space that you've made. And then that's your A-line skirt pattern. To finish it off, you'd add seam allowance all the way around. I'm using a Sharpie so you can see it, but you'd want to use a pencil. This is a half scale block, but on an actual skirt you might want to add a 2 or a 3 centimetre hem. I'm just going to add a centimetre. You wouldn't add any seam allowance on the front, so we just mark that one off. And then it's always good to write down any pattern instructions as you're going. So I'm writing fold so that I remember to cut that one on the fold. And then on the back it's the same again, centimetre all the way around. And this skirt would have a zip at the back. So I'm just going to add a centimetre on the back. The next skirt I'm going to make is a wrap skirt. So anything that's asymmetrical, you want to trace out both sides of the skirt. And then I'm marking at the top where I want the wrap to come to. So I'm going to use something curved. You could just draw the line, but I'm obviously using a plate. And then make sure there's a right angle at the top. And then smooth that line into the curve that you've drawn already. So you can see that the front of this now looks like a wrap skirt. So there's 2 panels to it. There's the right hand side, which is the smaller piece, and the left hand side of the front is the whole panel. It doesn't have to be that big, that's just the way I've designed this one. So I'm going to draw around the back one so that you can see all 3 sections of the pattern. If you're ever making a pattern and you need to have a print placement, you could draw the whole thing out so that you could see through the pattern and get the print exactly where you want it to be. So I'm just adding a centimetre to the side so that I can stick this together so that I can show you what the skirt would look like if it was made complete. So you've got the back panel, the front left hand side and the front right hand side. And so all together it would look like this. The next one I'm going to show you is going to be the ruffle skirt. So this is the back panel of the skirt, so I've drawn around both sides of it again. And the reason I've drawn it out is because I want to know exactly how long each of these lines are so that I can make a ruffle that's the right length to fit on the skirt. So once I've drawn that line, I can turn my tape measure onto the side. Whenever you're measuring a curve, always have your tape measure on the side. So I'm going to write that down and the depth of it as well. So now I know how long my rectangle is going to be. So I draw it the length that I measured. Make sure I've got a right angle each side. So once I've got the size I want, I'm going to cut out this rectangle. And then I'm going to divide up the rectangle evenly. And then cut these sections apart. Now I'm using my set square to make sure that the space I'm putting between the ruffles is equidistant. So once that's done, I'm just going to use some tape to fix it in place all the way around. Fill in the gaps. Add some seam allowance. Then I can cut that one out. So this is just out of paper, but it can give you an idea of how the ruffles will look. I'll put a link down below to another video I've made about how you can make different sorts of ruffles or gathers. So once you've got it all done, that's what the finished skirt would look like.